Everyone, great news for Polestar. BNP Paribas sells 90% of its NIO holdings and it buys 3.4 million Polestar shares. So of course this is great news for Polestar and all who's involved. Now according to the 13F HR form filed Thursday, BNP Paribas Asset Management Holding sold 87.58% of its stake in NIO. That's approximately 274,000 shares. And they added 3.4 million Polestar shares in late June when the Swedish manufacturer closed the merger process with Guggenheim. BNP Paribas reported ownership of 38,000 NIO shares, valued at $846,000, as of the end of the second quarter. On the previous form, filed on May 12, it had disclosed an owning 313,000 shares, representing a decrease of 87%. Now, by the end of Q1 2021, when the stock price was trading near all-time highs, BNP had over 1.5 million shares of Chinese EV maker, but sold some months later over 1 million shares. Now, the Paris headquarter firm also disclosed that they bought 3.395 million shares of the recent IPO Polestar in late June. This was brilliant news for Polestar, of course. It's great news for me. It's great news for everyone who's involved. Now, this is particularly interesting at the end of June because at that time, the total holding in Polestar company were valued at 29.92 million. Now, I'm making this report on Saturday, the 6th of August. Now, I'm happy to say that yesterday, on Friday, closing day of trading, Polestar recovered really well. They closed at $9.38, which was brilliant. The market cap rose as high as 19.8 billion. Absolutely brilliant. And as you can see, this gets Polestar one step closer to dethroning XPeng. XPeng is currently the 6th most valuable EV company in the world at 19.94 billion in value. Polestar, on the other hand, is trailing behind by literally 100 million. They're 19.84 billion in value. So as NIO is going down in price, Polestar is actually recovering. So we could see Polestar dethroning NIO in the near future, which would be quite a sight. Now, in further news as well, Polestar signed a collaboration agreement with Arval in Spain for its leasing service. Now, Arval is a part of the BNP Paribas group and will become Polestar global leasing service provider in Spain after arriving in the country in 1996. And as of June 2022, the company has currently more than 200,000 vehicles on the road and is leading national operation. This is particularly brilliant for Polestar as Arval will provide its experience to offer mobility solution adapted to the preferences and profiles of its customers. The partnership will allow Polestar customers to have a competitive leasing product and services, as well as access to maintenance and repairs of their vehicles in the brand's own official network. Now, in my previous video on Polestar, I made a prediction that Polestar will close at the end of this week at least $9.10 to $9.20. But I'm happy to say, of course, that I was wrong. Polestar did even better than that. Way better. Now, to take a look at the Polestar share in the last 30 days, obviously it did majorly well in July. Towards the end of July, that's when the price started to fall off just a little bit. And at some points, it reached as low as $8.64. Some would argue a great opportunity for a lot of buyers. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. This video is just for educational purposes, but you have to admit the price has been looking even more optimistic as the company seeks to expand their delivery numbers. As they seek to accomplish at least 50,000 vehicles delivered this year, it's looking good so far for Polestar. I also made a report of Polestar delivery numbers. I made a full video on this information. As for the UK numbers, there are currently no datas, but Polestar has seen growth in South Korea, USA, and Spain. As a disclaimer for Spain, this was their first opening in Spain. They delivered 13 units of EV vehicles, which was brilliant, all Polestar 2 vehicles. Now in the United States, they also seen growth in units that were sold, which was brilliant. They sold over 926 units. And in South Korea, 411 units. Really brilliant for Polestar. In Sweden, they sold a rapid amount of 129 vehicles, but they seen a decline in the Swedish numbers. There's a decline in Norway, Finland, Belgium, Austria, Netherlands, Ireland. But in Australia, the numbers were actually quite stable at 400 units delivered. Brilliant for Polestar. So with the brilliant news coming out of Polestar that more investors are going into Polestar, the question is, how will the shares react in the near future? And it wasn't too long ago that Polestar was actually invested by a Swedish pension fund, AMF. They bought over 4.4 million shares in Polestar, which was brilliant again for the company. So we're seeing multiple companies investing in Polestar at rapid pace. And in recent news, Forbes, the huge media company around the world, has tested a Polestar 2. And they had fun doing this. They wrote an entire article on this subject, so I advise you checking that out if you're a Polestar fan. Tested, buzzing around Los Angeles in the powerful, fun electric 2022 Polestar 2. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.